Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to my channel if you're a subscriber. If you're new, thank you for visiting my channel. Today I'm going to do a small, brief video kind of oversight on the transform, which is this item here. I've had a few people kind of inquire what I was referring to when I was explaining to them how to transform things. This allows you to transform any of your commander stuff, your heroes, your defenders, your survivors, into other items, your weapons. So let's go into our transform tab. So when you open up transform, you're going to see that for me, I have all these legendary, and then I have some epic, and then I have a whole bunch of rare, the blue ones. Well, in the blue ones only, they will give you, like for instance this one. As you can see, there's no number on it. That means it's infinite, just like this is 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 infinite, and just like this is infinite, this is infinite, and this is infinite. What that means is I can duplicate these as many times, whereas the ones that have numbers on them, I'm only going to get to use that one 5 times. I'm only going to get to use that one 3 times. Only going to get to use that one 1 time, and so on and so forth. So once they're used up, they're gone. As you can see in the legendary as well as the epic, I have never had, and I'm an end gamer, and I'm sure many other end gamers can attest to this as well, I've never had an epic or a legendary infinite. They're always, you use it and then it's gone. But in the blue schematics, or the blue transforms, excuse me, you actually have infinite. So I can make as many shotguns, as many sniper rifles, as many survivors, as many traps, and so on and so forth. So as you can see, that's a random weapon. So now I'm going to show you how to transform. Now what you want to do is you want to go into your resources and you want to look at what actual trap designs, training manuals, and weapons designs are you lowest on. So as you can see, I'm lowest on them on the traps. But that being said, take into consideration, all my traps are all 130s. So I don't necessarily need a whole bunch of trap designs solely for the sake that all my traps are already leveled up. So for me, the trap designs aren't as important, but I will still show you how to use those in the transform. So back to the resources. Out of these 3, you would have to pick which is your lowest and what do you want to create so that you can actually transform, say, your survivors, your heroes, your defenders, your traps, your guns, your melee, all of that. So now let's go back into transform. So we're going to do some traps first. We're going to do some infinite traps. So now we're going to add to the transform, and as you can see, we get a page at the top. We get here's our heroes, here's our defenders, here's our lead survivors, here's our regular survivors, here's our melee, here's our weapons, and here's our traps. So we're going to go into the traps first, and we're going to go all the way down to the silver. See how that's a silver trap? Now if I use that, let's back out of here real quick so I can show you. Now if I go into my schematics, and I'll just recycle one so you can see what I'm referring to. Now if I go into my schematics and I take this one and I say recycle it, I only get 200 schematic XP. So on that schematic XP, you're only getting 200. You're not getting any books, you're not getting anything out of it. So that's kind of a waste. I mean, if you wanted the XP, but as you can see for me, resources, I have 9,000 schematic, I have 13,000 survivor, and I have 10,000 heroes. So schematic and all that stuff is kind of useless to me. So back to the transformation. We're going to go in and we're going to do a trap. So now we're going to go all the way over to our traps. We're going to go all the way down into our silver. So that when we're down, oops, one too many. We're down into the silver. So now we're going to grab one. See how the dial just changed from 10 to 18? Now we're going to put a second. See, now it's going to make a common trap, so it's still going to make a silver trap. So we need to add another. Now it's almost to a green. Add one more, and now it'll make a green trap. So you don't actually need to add this last one. That's a waste. So 4 silvers will make 1 green. So see how down at the very bottom it says research points 16,712/25. That means I have 16,712 research points, and it cost 25 to transform this. So now I will transform this, and now I get a green trap. So now I can turn all the green traps into blue traps. And then when I do the blue traps, I can then recycle them for books. So now I'll do the rest of my silvers. So now that makes a whole nother green trap. Let's go back into our trap. And there's the last 4. It now made us our last green trap. Now we're going to go back into the trap, and now we're going to recycle the greens. We're going to turn them to blue. So now there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and this actually takes 5. It takes 5 to make the max. So there's your 5. So now it's a rare trap. So now there is your rare trap. Now you can actually physically take that rare trap, recycle it for a trap design, a thing that you need to upgrade your items, whereas before you were only going to get the XP out of it. So we'll do it again. So that way, here's another blue trap that I'm going to get, that I can get a book out of. So we'll do it one more time. We'll get all my greens out of there. So I don't have any more of those in my inventory, so that every time I go to craft something, it's just my legendaries that I have and the few epics that I've saved along the way. So again, we'll do this one more time. And I'm just doing this video to show everyone basically how simple it is to get your books. When I hear those people say, oh, but I don't have any books to upgrade. Well, if you're not transforming your stuff, then you're throwing all your ability to do that away, because it's all right here. Okay, so now see how I only have 4 of those? I don't have any more greens. Well, I don't want to use a blue, so now switch over to your weapons, go down to a green weapon, and put the green, oh, it still doesn't do that under a green weapon. Okay, so hold on one second. So since I already have a whole slew of blue weapons that I got almost 2,000 in my things in terms of weapons. So I got enough weapons books. So here's another one I'll show you. So see how I have 3 green in there? Put 1 blue in. Now it makes it a max trap. Now I used a weapon that I'm going to get, you know, the same thing from. So instead of getting the weapon design that I don't need, I'm getting the trap design that I do need. So now it just made another blue trap. So now we're going to go into our schematics, and here all the silver traps that were at the bottom and all the silver stuff that was at the bottom. See how all the silver traps are all gone? It's just silver melee and weapons. And then here's all the traps we created. So now what we're going to do is we're going to batch recycle. So now see how it gave me 1 trap design? Now it gave me 2 trap designs. Now it gave me 3 trap designs. Now it gave me 4 trap designs, 5 trap designs, 6 trap designs, 7 trap designs. Plus, it gave me 5250 in schematic XP. So I just didn't recycle the schematic and get just XP. I got weapon design or trap design that I wanted out of that. Now, that being said, see how I have all these blue weapons and all these green weapons? We can do that same thing. you can go back into your transform and say, I want survivor. I want some survivors. So I'm going to go into my weapons, and I got all these weapons. So here's all these blues, here's all these greens. So let's see what a silver does. So if you use 4 silver, it makes a blue survivor. So 4 silver will make you 1 blue survivor. So if you need survivor, stuff to upgrade your survivors, and you have all these extra schematics, don't waste them. Go in here, and here, go down to your silver. Let's see, we only have 1 silver left, so we'll use 1 silver and 1 green, and then we'll use another green, and there's another rare survivor that we're going to get XP and a book out of. So you could continually do that. So you could do that with your green stuff, you could do that with your blue stuff. So here, let's try it with blue. There's all green. Let's see what 1 blue, it takes 2 blue weapons. Nope. Oh, we didn't want a trap. We wanted the survivor. Sorry about that. Went too far over. So there's your survivor. So we'll go into weapons, go down to blue. Let's use, there you go. So it takes 1 blue weapon to make 1 blue survivor, which you would then get a book out of. But if you notice, see how when we transform survivors, see down at the bottom it says requirement people. See how I have 250 of 225? That's those little books you get at the end where it says all these people. I used to think back in the beginning of the game when I used to get them and it says I couldn't hold anymore, I thought, well, what are they giving it to me for? And then when I learned how to transform, then I realized, oh, I had to have those people to transform all these. So, like for instance, here I'll show you on a legendary. Here's a legendary hero. I get 3 of them. So this takes 100 people. See it at the bottom? So we're going to see, what does 1, that only gives us 100. So I can't do that. So let's go out of here and let's do, can I do that? That's only 150. Okay, so it obviously has to be something. Let's see. Will it take a regular weapon? That's only 100. So that means it'll only be 500. So to craft that, you would actually need, you would need like legendary. So that's 375. That's 750. Actually, I'm not sure I want to do that, because even though I already have both of these, I want another set. I don't know why, but yeah, I'm not going to do that. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Here, we'll craft a hero. So here's a blue hero. So we'll do a random blue hero. We'll go into, here we go. We don't need these greens, and these greens will allow us to get, will it? Maybe not. Yeah, no, it won't even do that with so even lead survivors. So let's see. Okay, so it's, you could take this out, take this out, and take that out. Oh no, see, that's interesting. Okay, so that would be your hero. So it actually takes one purple and 2 blue, and it takes 200 people to craft that. So survivors and traps are the cheapest. Those are the most least inexpensive, and I think the weapon, the assault. Let's see what it takes there. Let's see here. This is all green. Oh, it's just research points. Okay, so you don't need any of the people when it comes to guns or melee, since that's research points. It's only the people when you're doing people items, i.e., survivors, heroes, stuff like that. So, that being said, hopefully that helps everyone understand how to use the transform tab, which is, you guys are not going to have what I have. Everybody's going to have different stuff, and they're going to have used it and all of that. But this is the transform tab page. And then, like I said, in the schematics, as you collect them, they'll be at the bottom. So your silvers will be down at the bottom, then your green, then your blue, then your purple, and then your legendary. Now, something else for new players, say you get a new item and you really want to make sure that you don't recycle or delete that item. What you want to do is you want to go into that item. Here, I'll go into something on my something I haven't saved yet. Here, the Dragon Claw. So as you can see, when I click on it, it gives me different options. It allows me to upgrade it, allows me to make it my favorite, it allows me to compare it, it allows me to recycle it, and on this particular item, it allows me to put it into my collection book. So that being said, what we're going to do is we're going to click it as favorite, so that now it's in the favorite tab. See how they have little blue spots on the top? That allows you to know that that's in the favorites, so that if you hit your square button and try to recycle, see how all these have a stop, you can't do that over it because you've saved that as your favorite. And then the other ones that you see, these happen to be items that you just can't particularly delete. Don't know why. I don't have an answer for that one, but that's whatever it is, that's what Epic does. So as you can see, there's certain items that they just will not allow you to delete, and it seems to only be on the legendary. And then when you get down here to the main items, like the original stuff that they give you at the very beginning of the game, they do not allow you to delete. Everything else you can recycle, but anytime you favorite something, it will basically put that up so that you cannot physically delete that item. So that's something for the new players. If you don't want to delete something, you want to make sure you keep that schematic, just basically put it as your favorite. So what you want to do is you want to focus on getting your traps upgraded as quickly as you can, because with your traps you can use your weapons a lot less. So if you're using your traps are taking the blunt damage of all the husks coming into the mission. All you're doing is basically keeping the extras out of the way. So I'm just giving everybody a general look at what my inventory is and how my traps are rolled. Here, I'll start slow. There's my bazooka. There's my broadside. There's my bundle bus. There's my ceiling drop trap. There's my ceiling electric field. My ceiling gas trap. I have two. One's a 106 and one's a 130. They're rolled differently. There's my ceiling zapper. My cozy campfire, my hemlock. Oh, sorry, that was fast. My hemlock, double crit. If I can double crit and a crit rating on a weapon, I always do. My healing pad. That being said, this has 2 headshots because of the fact that, look at what the headshot damage does. 89,196 with an impact of 1676. It'll take out a 100 mouth breather, as I call them, with one shot. Your floor launcher, you kind of want to make sure that it shoots it as high as you can. Someone once said I should change one of the reload speeds with impact so it shoots it even higher, but I like the fact that it reloads itself quickly. Same thing with my freeze trap. I don't use my flame grill floor trap that often. Love my Easter egg launcher. Those of you who do not know about this gun, it's totally underrated. It's got an incredible scope. It's like a burst rifle. It's very accurate. If you use weapon stability on it, you can move all around with the scope engaged, and you don't feel like it's a wobbly world, so to speak. It's very precise. So if you do get this gun, it's definitely worth upgrading. I don't use it all the time, but in some situations, it's excellent. The Krypton Sword, I did Life Leech and Attack Speed. The only thing I need to do is, oh no, I already did do that roll. I changed it to slow and snared targets. Anything on your 5th roll of the weapon, see how it says damage dealt with this weapon, snares the target by 30% for 6 seconds. So the perk you want to put before it always should match whatever that last perk is that you can't change, so that it intensifies that perk. So, and then all I did was use critical rating to increase the critical rating on the actual thing. So about a little over 1/3 of the time, every 3rd hit or so, you're going to get crit damage. Then the Long Arm Enforcer. This is quite an excellent shotgun. It has a very long reach, as you can see. It's a range of 3686, which most shotguns like my Room Sweeper, as you can see, is only 2048. So definitely a good gun to upgrade. And those of you who do not have this gun, the Mercury LMG, definitely recommend this. And I definitely recommend changing it over to fire rate, because if you look at the last roll on the gun, it says landing 5 hits in a row on a single target causes a small explosion, damaging enemies within 0.5 tiles of the target for 70% damage. So basically, by putting that fire rate in there, you've actually caused the gun to get to its explosion even faster. So really, in all honesty, oops, sorry, I didn't want to do that. Let's do upgrade. Yeah, I know, I don't care about that. This gun's not getting anything done to it except for the perks. I think there's, yes, you could actually have 2 fire rates in there, but you would lose your magazine size. So, or no, you wouldn't lose your magazine size, you would lose your damage. So you could either have the damage through the explosion or the damage through the damage. I prefer the damage through the damage because, as you can see, it's doing 15,000 already and 19,000 for the headshot. So, and then when it gets to the explosion, it does even better. And if you line them up in a kind of a single file line and you shoot the guy in the middle, then it explodes and it kills everyone around them. My old Betsy, I sure wish Epic, if you're listening, I sure wish you would enable us endgamers to get to epic and legendary perk up much easier, so that other guns that I like as much, that I don't use as often, I could also have them with legendary rolls, instead of always having to go on what weapons I use the most so that they're the most effective. Kind of like my pain train. I'm trying to level up my pain train at the same time I'm leveling up my bundle bus, and it's leaving me with, 2 guns that are not completely fully legendary rolled, so I wish Epic would enable us to do that. Patrol reward. Here's a real quick insight for you guys. If you're doing a mission as a constructor, and say you're in Canny but you're going down to Stonewood to do the top of Stonewood by yourself, and you're doing a mission 4X mission, put these out on the outer corners, and then they will enable the spawns to spawn so that you can actually build and do what you need to do while you're actually having that minimal amount of time to do it in, instead of constantly fighting off husks. It also works in the areas of where you're, if you're in twine, they also work in twine. You just want to have them 130s like me. These, they're okay. I don't use them all the time. I prefer my wood floor spikes. I would love to have this rolled up, but I don't have enough material. So my Room Sweeper, which I would like to have legendary rolled. My Siege Breaker, which once I got my Hemlock, the Siege Breaker was, how should we say, it was put on the back shelf. So I still enjoy it, but it's not a gun I go to very often. My Smasher Basher. my snowball launcher, my spectral blade, my super shredder. You can see which weapons I use regularly because they're legendary rolled. So my sunbeam Baron, which as you can see has 2 armor, a damage, and a critical. So my damage is 30,000, my critical hit chance is 41.5% with a 75% crit hit damage. Attack speed is 98 with 300 durability and a 3077 impact. So my Bright Core is totally different. This one I use all the time. We'll do the stats first. So on that one it's 30,000. So basically this is a little bit more, but this is Bright Core. This one will be way stronger when this is solid like this. All legendary rolls. But they're both rolled how I want them. So the reason I have this at movement speed is solely for the sake that when I play my constructor, or, oh, hello, Lolays. I didn't even see you come in. How are you today? The reason I use the 14% movement speed 3 times is because on my constructor as well as my soldier, this enables me to actually move faster across the board so that, oops, I didn't mean to do that, guys. Sorry. So that I can physically get around the board faster as my constructor and as my soldier. So, and then I have my wall darts. See, all these I'd like to have, you know, all legendary, but they don't give us enough legendary to really get it done. So the ones that I used all the time, you can see that I have, you know, perked up. So, and there's my second gas trap. See, this one has no crit damage. This one has damage, reload speed, and effective duration. And then these are all the lower weapons that I'm starting to get to now. Kind of an interesting shotgun. It has a 5th roll in it. None of my other weapons have this. Let me go into the things. It's an extra roll, but it doesn't let me upgrade it. When I first upgraded the gun, I thought, oh, I can, you know, open the gun up to a level 106 and I'll be able to get to that perk and modify it. Well, it doesn't let you. I mean, it would be nice if it did, because then you would have 6 rolls on the gun that you could modify. But this one, unfortunately, only gives you that 25% impact and plus 400 knockback magnitude. But it's pretty powerful at blue. So, and it looks nice. I mean, it's got a cool look to it. So, I would have to say my favorite looking weapon in the entire game that I own right now, I would have to say my Ginger Blaster. I like the way this thing looks. It's just killer looking. You know, it's Christmassy. That's so cool. And it's it drops those little eliminating enemies with this weapon can spawn healing gumdrops. So definitely a cool schematic to have. While I'm in here, let me go over some things about Survivor Squad. Because some people aren't familiar with the Survivor Squad. Okay, in your Survivor Squads, let's go back to your survivors. Okay, everything you see is already in a squad. That's why it's blacked out. As you can see, they have the little blue spot on the top of the actual card, because that tells me that I've already saved them in my favorites so that I cannot delete them. So basically all of these down here are all accessible. So now, as I was showing you, see how we have all these silver? So what we're going to do is, we don't need these blues. So now we're going to recycle. We're going to recycle. Now if you look over to the right, now we just got 7,800 survivor XP and we got 10 training manuals. So we're going to recycle that, but you can't do that on the green. You'll see what I mean. See how I'm only getting Survivor XP? I'm not getting any books. So you don't want to do that. You want to turn your silver and your green into blues, so that you can then take those blues and recycle them and get your book out of it. Your manual, shall we say. So, that being said, here's all my... I haven't used these in any of their mythics. They should go in my collection book, but I'm still in the process of working on my squads. So now we'll go into my squads. So here's my EMT squad. So I have him as my doctor. So he's maxed out. Everything in this squad is actually maxed out. I just need one more legendary so that I can roll it over to that. But at the same time, I kind of really want to take out this range here, these three, and I want to replace it with trap damage. I always like trap damage. Reason being is ability damage and rain damage I don't use very often. But as you can see, I got trap damage, trap durability, trap durability, trap damage, trap durability, trap damage, trap damage, trap damage. And the reason I want trap damage is so that basically I get the ability to use my traps and they become as powerful as... Where is she? Where are you, Mrs. Harper? Where is my love? There she is. This constructor right here used to be the baddest constructor in the entire game until they did the update. What she did for your traps, what she did for your durability, she overclocked your traps, she made your durability 25% more, and then on top of that, she also brought, like here, she gives trap durability here, but she doesn't overclock your traps. To get your overclocked traps, you have to go into your hero loadout and you have to physically make sure that you choose overclocked traps. But if you see on your overclocked traps, increases the damage of the traps affected by base by 8.5%. Oh, hey, what's up, 2C Void? Thanks, man. The 8.5% isn't what the 30% was that she brought. I think it was 25 or 30% that she brought was called overclocked traps. So she actually made your traps reload 30% faster than they normally would have. So when the new update came out, basically Miss Machinist Harper, who was the baddest constructor in the entire game, they basically nerfed her. They made her useless. So now, being that we have the new loadout, the new, how should we say, the new constructor, I definitely recommend this guy. Because if you're going to use your cannonballs, as you can see, increases the cannonball damage by 40%. So that means your cannonballs become 40% stronger. Then she's going to give your traps 8.5%. So they're going to increase the damage by there. But that's just the damage. It's not the reload speed. That's what misses. And then I use Machinist Thora, which gives me electrified floors. Then I use Machinist Harper for the trap durability. I use Base Kyle for the feel the base. I use the Frost King for the frozen castle so he snares, and then I use the other Kyle for the building health. So that's the best loadout I've found if you're going to use your actual, how should we say, I use my, let me go back into my inventory. I use my broadsides all the time. This is my favorite trap of the game now. And if you roll it this way, it reloads very quickly and it gives you excellent durability. And if you ask me, this trap has put the wall dynamo to shame, because the wall dynamo only goes so far out. This will actually, I think, 3 tiles out, they will activate. Whereas the dynamos, they have to be right up 1 tile next to it. So hold on 1 second. I didn't see a friend request. Let me do some let's see. Your backpack. What let's see. My Epic is the same as my YouTube. Everything's the same. All my channels are all linked. They're all the same. You should be able to you know what? I don't think I have a URL. I'll have to put that on my channel. I don't have a URL to my Epic. But I don't think that's feasible. But I have it you can get to my Twitter channel and all of that. But on Epic it's the same. The 50-year-old 420 gamer. In your backpack, basically, anytime you have weapons that are underneath what you normally carry, just recycle them. Because, see, I'm going to get 2 planks and I'm going to get some stringy twine. So, with those 2 planks and the stringy twine, I can now put that in my inventory. So I see new players do this all the time where they drop stuff. And see, now I would get all those items back. What I do is I will recycle all of this except for those wood floor spikes. And I'll tell you why. The wood floor spikes doesn't really do a whole lot of damage. They're not really designed for damage. They're designed to slow the husks down by 30%. So basically I always keep these because you can throw them down, you're not having to craft them. And then let's see, what else do I have? In your quest page, you guys are gonna have different quests than I'm gonna have. You're gonna have your repeatable quests. That's where you get all your little goodies like gold, reperk, fire up, amp up. All these, I'll tell you right now, all this stuff: set the world on fire, forces of nature, and a watery grave. Don't waste your time trying to get all this, and I'll show you why. Because I'm an end gamer, all complete and done with the game. I've never used any of these. You see that? I have 12,000 of the nature, I have 17,000 of the fire up, and I have 14,000 of the frost up. So these, in my opinion, are useless. Everything you want to focus on is your storm shards, your pure drops of rain, your lightning in a bottle, and your eye of the storm. Those are your most crucial items. That's going to allow you to upgrade your guns, your weapons, your traps, anything, your survivors, your heroes, your defenders. Speaking of defenders, someone said to me the other day, oh, well, I didn't even upgrade any of my defenders. You should definitely upgrade your defenders, because as you can see in each one of the defenders, they're going to give the defender attributes. Attributes like increases the hardware damage by 15%, increases shield regeneration by 24%, increases shield percent, so on and so on. When you get to your your assault rifle guy. He's going to make your weapon fire faster. He's going to do weapon damage, and each one's going to have a different one. So like for instance, if you look at this guy, he does increases shotgun damage by 15%. He's got max health, as you can see all on all that. But this one doesn't look like that. He has different. See how he brings two things of crit damage? So it now makes your weapon on the shotgun crit damage 108% more crit. So you don't ever want to just pitch the defender because you already have one, because like for instance, as you can see here on this one, he does sniper rifle damage, and then he does reload speed, regeneration. But if you look at this one, he does magazine size, he does the 15%, but he also does another 15%. So this one's going to get more damage to the husks than this one would. Yes, his fire rate's faster and he reloads faster, but this one will actually do more damage because of how the rolls are on the actual defender. And then if you look at this sniper rifle, she's the same as this one basically. Where is it? So she has magazine size, she has fire rate, and she has crit damage. He has no crit damage. He has two damages on this one, but no crit. So basically, if you're using a crit weapon, you would want to use this here, this defender. So this defender would actually make your crit weapons work better, where this defender would make your regular damage weapons work better. So you also want to focus on that of what is your defender capable of, and how does your defender function with the weapon that you're giving him. Because if you're giving him a weapon that crits but it doesn't advance any crit, then you're basically defeating the purpose of giving him a crit, or her a crit weapon. So take that into consideration as well. Expeditions, these are good to do. I don't do a whole lot of them because they do take up characters that I would prefer to play, because to make sure it gets through what you want. Like Warcraft is a good one, solely because of the fact that with the Warcraft, what you're going to get is, oh, it doesn't even show. Normally it'll show what you're going to get. So see how that one's already lit up green? That one actually lets you know that you're going to get success rate of 37%. So then anyone that you have that's lit up will give you that extra bonus. And actually, I don't have any others, so it just must have been the lead on this one. So you actually need in the squad, let's see, what do you need in the squad? What does it tell you? Doesn't show you anything in the squad, Epic. What is the deal? How come it doesn't explain which type of heroes that you need for this squad? So it's a soldier has to lead it. So that's all it needs, is a soldier has to lead it. So you would use your soldier. Let's use a constructor, and let's use a ninja. So we would have 520 at a 75% chance of success rate. So let's change this. Let's put an Outlander in here. Let's do him. So still 75%. Alright, I'm being summoned. I generally don't talk on the video when I'm making a video with someone, so you kind of got to wait till I'm done with the video. So I'm trying to do a video for educational purposes, so I think that's about it. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory in the game. You're going to start in Stonewood, you're going to go to Plankerton, then you're going to go to Canny, then you're going to go to Twine. And as you guys can see, I'm already done with the event, so I can't even get in there. I already have everything that's in there. So that being said, this is how you send requests and all of that stuff through your pal list. This is how you, real quick, this is how you do your boost ups. Some people don't know this. You can boost up yourself, which I'll do right now. I'll do 2 of them. And then you can also boost up friends that are in with you. That's what the teammate XP boost is. And as you can see below, that I'm a max level 310, and my next reward is 10,000 schematic, which I have no use for, but the 150 legendary I'll definitely use, and the 400 reperks I'll definitely use, but most of the stuff is for the new gamers. So hope you guys enjoyed that video. Hit that like and subscribe button. Also check out my music channel, HKMusic Experience, at youtube.com, and thank you for visiting my channel.